not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Prime Time, featuring Joe C.
Why in the world am I sitting back and being quiet about this?
Matt Hayes.
Oh, my God. This is ridiculous.
And Leon Searcy.
If you can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
We get it rolling in the 2 o'clock hour. Big dogs and all. Big Sirs is here. Joe C is here. Maddie off working, but we will say hello to him coming up in just a little bit with the SEC spring meetings out in Destin taking place. And there's chatter out there now as far as DJ Lagway is concerned, the college football playoff, everything that's happening there. So we'll definitely spend some time on the college football world and then a lot on your Jaguars, especially with a couple of sound bites that came out from yesterday's media availability with the OTAs. And big, when we start talking about this football team, the theme you and I had yesterday as we were finished, well, actually during the show and when we were finishing up, is that they were too big, okay? They were too big. What did you call them?
Fat kids is what I call them, absolutely.
And especially on the defensive side of the ball, which was heavily discussed about whether these guys just looked a hell of a lot slower than maybe they did the year before, and hopefully that's going to change.
Yeah, I mean, well, Liam Cohen, in his presser, he said that he wants guys. I mean, you look at all the guys that he's going after. You're talking about guys that can run, who are active. That's what you want. You don't want statues. I mean, you want guys that can move around, that are flexible, turn the corner, trap, pull, all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, in this heat in Jacksonville, you'll need all that excess weight anyway.
No,
you know what I'm saying? You want to be solid, but you want to be lean. You want to be able to use this heat as your ally. And it matters more in the fourth quarter where games in this NFL are so marginal. Rarely do you see blowouts in the NFL. Rarely.
It's a lot of a 3 and 4 point game.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're shrinking in the moment where you need it the most, which is in the fourth quarter, it says a lot about your team and your mindset. You're
in trouble. And look, I think the mindset to play off of that word is that they're going to come in and they're going to try and create some energy. One of the players yesterday, Trayvon Walker, had something to say about that, so we will definitely get into that because energy is needed around here, okay? Duval fell...
Positive energy.
Yes.
Absolutely needed.
And it fell a little flat last year. And like we said, Doug Peterson expected his players to play as professionals. He gave them whatever tools they needed. He expected them to basically take it from there, take the baton, run with it, and they didn't. And we all know that that's why everything has started all over.
Well, here's the thing. I think the biggest obstacle Liam Cohen is going to have on this team is to make them to believe they're not losers. I mean, I know it's May, but just think about what this team has gone through last year.
Yeah.
I mean, just the total meltdown of epic proportion.
If you go back from December of 23 and you advance from that point till now, it's bad.
It's all bad.
Okay, from 8-3 to where they ended up out of the playoffs to where they ended up last year, a 4-win season, on and on and on. So we're definitely going to talk Jaguar ball today. Last night, season came to an end in the association. Did it surprise you a little bit? Because I feel like when
you're calling it. You're saying it's over.
Yeah.
You said the season comes to an end.
Oh, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And basically, Leon did say it yesterday.
No, I'm saying you, Joe. You just said the season comes to an end.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about season coming to an end last night for the Knickerbockers.
Well, it's not over.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it did come to an end, basically, with the way everything fell, the way Halliburton took over, the numbers that he had last night, just incredible. And so I'm just looking at, over.
I've seen crazier things, Joe. I've seen crazier things, but I'm gonna tell you what they did. I'm gonna tell you what they did. They did crush their momentum.
No, I just know it's only 3-1.
Yeah, they did crush their momentum. I mean, because you're talking about the Knicks team who had home court advantage. They dropped 2. All right. Got 1, and Indiana was they had to win that game.
Well,
they
is true.
They definitely couldn't have gone back to New York tied 2-2.
And they were up a big time in both losses.
They were. But Indiana took care of business, what you're supposed to do at home. They wasn't supposed to drop game 3. I was surprised they dropped game 3 because I figured that you up 2-0, and you're going home with all the crowd and all the momentum of stealing home field advantage, you should have won Game 3. They let it slip by.
Let me just ask the basic question. The fact that they left New York with 2 wins, came back, had the big lead, and then obviously at this time, would you have still said it would have been a 3-1 series? I guess is the way I'm looking at this, because they were going to win one of their first 2.
Yeah.
That New York might have been able to steal the second of the 2 before they went back. That's the only way I'm looking at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Indiana did what they were supposed to do, unlike Game 3. Because there's no way they should have lost.
Right, they could have swept them right out.
Right.
True.
Then they would have been cooked for sure. Well, Game 4 up 3-0 at home. So I mean they let them loose a little bit by losing Game 3. I'm not sure if it's over, but I'm glad Indiana is up 3-1.
I guess the difference between a 2-1 and now 3-1 series lead is the way this game unfolded after what happened the game before. That's the only reason I'm looking at this, because Jalen Brunson has all of a sudden kind of lost that mojo. JJ was talking about he wanted to get him out of the playoffs, and just the way he's trying to draw contact, get fouls called against Indiana, or really for that matter, whoever he's been playing, it's not working nearly as much as it was before. And they're turning the ball over a hell of a lot more in these last couple of games. And then you look at what Halliburton is not reinvented himself. He's invented himself in this postseason, has he not?
Yeah, absolutely. He showcased his talent in these playoff series. But JJ, you would know better than me. Has he reached, and this was a debate earlier this morning, maybe over the weekend, is he a star or is he a superstar right now based upon his performance in the playoffs?
Well, I mean, how many superstars are in the league? And I consider people superstars in the league that are less good than Tyrese Halliburton. Wouldn't you consider KD still a superstar?
Yeah.
But he's not as good.
No.
Yeah.
You probably have to you take Halliburton right now. But if you win, I mean, is anybody going to beat OKC? I don't think so. But I don't know. If it's a close series, 6-7 games in the finals, and he continues to play like this, absolutely. Triple-double with 0 turnovers last night. It's never been done.
Okay, so I guess the way I'm positioning this, and I agree that stat line he had was incredible. But everyone was trying to crown Anthony Edwards and say he was the next. And at least Tyrese Halliburton, when he's been on the floor, has come up big, whereas Ant-Man has not. And you have to at least recognize that. I don't know if he's here.
Yeah, I think that if Anthony Edwards in Minnesota played in the East, they'd probably easily step through everyone, though.
Yeah, and that was the conversation we had yesterday, is that whoever comes out of the East is going to get destroyed by, and we might as well say OKC now.
And even if they don't, it's just like one division is clearly better than the other.
Yes.
Or one conference is clearly better than the other.
And as we said, it's been either left-heavy or right-heavy at different times of our NBA lives.
Well, I mean, the West is kind of like the SEC. They beat up on each other in the playoffs, and then is expected to win the title.
Right. Whoever survives,
survives exactly. So yeah.
So he had 30 points, 10 boards, 15 assists, 5 3-pointers, and 0 turnovers. It's not been done. We know that. And so it was. And another one, the Knicks finished with 2 more assists than he did as a team, yet they had 17 more turnovers. So they honestly did not take care of the basketball. I expected Karl Anthony Towns to be able to follow what he did in Game 3 with a little bit more, but we all know that's just not the way it goes. Once you expect something, usually something else is going to happen. But it was punishing Pacers' play against the New York Knicks for the Knicks to feel like they were going to get back in this bad boy and then head home. And so we'll see where it goes from here.
Do you think it gets to 7?
I don't think.
Well, you just said it was over, so
yeah. I don't think so.
I think it does, and I think that Indiana's going to win Game 7 in New York.
In New York, wow. Okay, so you think?
I think the Knicks got the next 2. Yeah. I just do. At home, definitely.
Right.
And then Game 6, the refs are involved, and, who knows? I felt like at the end of the last game, fourth quarter especially, the game really slowed down, and the refs were giving the Knicks a lot of calls. And it's easy to do that in the NBA and totally change how the game's going.
Yeah, they can pull it to 3-2, but I'm just still saying it's over.
JJ, I like the way you're thinking right now, because a total New York Knicks meltdown in Game 7 at home.
I would love that.
Oh, my.
Because the hope of winning the next two, and they're like, oh, my God, I can't believe we just did that. Now we have a Game 7 at home?
Yeah.
And then to lose would just be absolutely epic.
And I think coming out of the first two wins against Boston, if I have this right, I'm pretty sure it was Game 3, after they were up 2, tickets were at a record high level.
Yeah, like $800 to get in.
$2,000 for some of those seats, courtside or whatever, maybe even been more than that. But it was just bananas. And then obviously Boston goes in there and wins. And so, whatever you expect, you're not going to get.
Listen, if they go Game 7 in New York and they lose, Spike might cry. Spike Lee will have a meltdown in New York City.
And what is crazy is both of these teams have their own unbelievable script in a lot of ways. What the Pacers did to even finish the regular season and then get into the postseason and then do what they've done, it's a great story.
The Yesers, you mean?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, me and Leon were talking about that before. Every team nowadays, especially in the NBA, they feel like they need to have their own, like, saying or motto or phrase, and then they throw them on a shirt and everybody wears the shirt. Yeah. The Pacers might have the worst one of all time. The Yesers.
Yeah, I'm trying to get what
does that mean?
Well, here's the
I
thing.
don't know.
Here's the thing. Back in the day, when I was hip and cool, we used to say yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Is it a play on that?
I don't know if it's
like they might as well name themselves
piggybacking off of that.
Name themselves the Verns because that's his line. Vern Lundquist, yes, sir. That's his.
Exactly.
And
Yesers.
I don't know. It's not catchy.
No.
I'll give you that.
And they had their Yesers Nation shirt on last night.
It's not catchy and it's outdated. I mean, I was saying yes, sir, like
it's been around
20-some years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you want to hear how dumb of a human I am? That I was like just incessantly yelling at the TV and at my poor wife who was making dinner last night during the game, like how much I hated the Yesers.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what's a Pacer anyway? And I'm like, oh, the pace car, the Indy 500.
Yeah.
Like it took me 35 years to realize why their name is.
No way.
I swear.
Are you serious?
I just never thought about it.
I think actually, JJ, when I was young, I might have thought it was like a pace horse instead of a pace car, that they had horse racing.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's probably, I don't know how long ago I let go of that one, but that's probably what I thought of in the very, very beginning. But
I was ashamed.
It's so funny because like you bring that up real quick and then we'll get back to the Jags. But there are certain teams' names, even though they've left the city,
Lakers,
they still fit. The LA Lakers still.
It sounds good, but it makes absolutely no sense.
I know, but
the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, and well,
this is like what?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. The Utah Jazz will never make any sense.
What about the Toronto Raptors? Bro?
Yeah, I know.
That was their original name. It just, I think
but like,
why they did that was because Jurassic Park was popping.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The Anaheim Mighty Ducks and the Toronto Raptors.
Movie teams.
Born out of movies.
Yeah.
All right, real quick. I just want to ask a couple of quick things to Trayvon Walker and to Anthony Campanile. The Jaguars interview opportunities yesterday when they came out of the OTA number 4, and Trayvon was talking obviously about coming out of last year, some of the stuff that didn't go well. Did he use his weight as an excuse last year? And he basically said hell no to that. But he's now looking forward to an energetic head coach in Liam Cohen, and I wonder if there is a theme to that. Here's what Travon had to say.
I feel like everybody, if you got a high energy guy like that, especially on days like this, it gets hot out here. Somebody's going to need somebody to pick somebody up and bring them along with them, and that's what the coaches are encouraging. The coaches are doing that to us, and us as players have to pick up the players beside us as well to do the same thing.
I'm in on that.
Yeah,
are you in on that?
I'm old school though, bro. I mean, what you want me to ride the merry-go-round with you?
No, but I mean,
you got to be self-motivated in this league, bro.
Yeah, I will never, ever blame you or tell you shouldn't be calling out the players because I think you are 100% right. Call them out every single time. But the only part of it I like to hear is that the coach is also involved.
Well, here's the thing. Now, if the coach is creating an environment on the field where you're energetic, I'm through competition, through all that kind of stuff, then I'm all for it. But I don't need a rah-rah coach You think TC was a rah-rah coach?
No,
he wasn't. So you had to be self-motivated. You had to want to come out there each and every day and give maximum effort and to be your very best. So, I mean...
Are you saying Jimmy wasn't a higher energy guy?
I want to kick their ass!
No, Jimmy actually was.
He did get it out of you.
Jimmy would get it out you because Jimmy would go to station, and go to groupers, and he'll call you out.
That's it right there.
Now, if he's doing that, then I'm okay with it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, don't. It shouldn't be encompassed upon the head coach to, pat your rear and say, hey, let's go. Just get it going. You got to be a little bit more motivated.
I haven't been out there, obviously. I've been at work, but from what I've heard from, like, the Carlines and the Hackers and such of the world is, like, when guys are making mistakes out there, he's going to get on your ass.
Yeah, they're in their ear.
Like, it's a lot less laid back than it was with the Doug regime.
And I
love that.
Yeah, I will take it because it's both. It's got to be the player making the player accountable, the locker room making every player in there accountable, but then also the coaching staff saying, do it again. Do it again.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I saw when I was out there with the offensive line. The offensive line coach had the guys split up, and when they got didn't do it right as far as technique-wise, fundamental coming off the ball, he said, get back, this is your mistake. Go back and do it right.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love the fact that they're making corrections right then and there, not waiting to watch the film to evaluate it. So that's what they need. They need self-correction right there on the spot. And call them out when they don't get it done.
Yeah, beautiful. I love it. All right, Golf Club of Southampton, we are looking forward to a 9 after 5 tonight. You can definitely call the Pro Shop 287 play. Get on the tee sheet. Come on out. 9-hole game. You got a skins game where you can throw a little extra in there for the skins game, which is always fun. Some food afterwards, some prizes. So definitely check out the Golf Club of Southampton. Join me tonight with the 9 after 5 called 287 play. Let's say hello to Matt Hayes coming up because the SEC spring meetings are going on and there's a lot of chatter about the playoffs.
Denny Hamlin. I'm Denny Hamlin, driver of the number 11 Toyota Camry for Joe Gibbs Racing.
Denny Hamlin wins his second Daytona 500.
And you're listening to 1010XL, Jax Sports Radio.
Just when you thought we couldn't bring you more, Keon Atlantic is here with a brand new store. We have the same great team to treat you well. With new savings during our grand opening sale, Keon Atlantic is here with the new store. Shop our best offers and largest selection yet. Save big during our grand opening sale. Is there something for everyone on our lot? You bet. If you're ready to experience something new, the all-new Keon Atlantic is ready for you. Your perfect ride is a visit away. Online at KeonAtlantic.com. Keon Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
Get this. Joey and me were supposed to go to this concert next week, right? But then something terrible happened. Joey was driving without a seatbelt. But he didn't wreck. No, he got pulled over. Now Joey has to pay for a seatbelt ticket instead of a concert ticket, and I have to go by myself. How lame is that? So Joey, if you're out there, you're an idiot. Wear your seatbelt or you'll get a ticket.
All across the country, cops are cracking down. Click it or ticket, day and night.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. When it's smooth as silk, Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Are you struggling with hair loss? At IHRS, we understand because we've been there too. We're dedicated to finding the best solution tailored just for you.
My hair looks great. It was thinning, and IHRS restored my hair.
It's now fuller, it's thicker, voluminous. It's made me feel great.
With the latest technology and FDA-approved laser therapy, PRP, and non-surgical hair addition, we offer guaranteed solutions for men and women.
With over 35 years of experience, IHRS found a hair restoration for us
and we can find one for you.
For me.
For me.
And me too.
Visit hairforme.com or call 904-777-IHRS. Get a free microscopic analysis and get to the root of your problem. This $395 analysis is yours for free. Call 904-777-4477 now.
1010XL's running game takes a giant step forward.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and Monahan Jewelers.
Family owned and managed for 20 plus years, Hidden Hills Golf Club boasts a unique and welcoming atmosphere. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com to book your next round on our Arnold Palmer signature course. You'll be glad you did.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to i9sports.com with summer and fall registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. i9sports.com. Enter 1010 for a discount.
Join us at Miller Electric May 29th from 4 to 7 p.m. We're on the lookout for talented people, from entry-level to experienced electricians and foremen, security system installation and service technicians, fire alarm system service technicians, and both senior and junior VDV technicians. This is your chance to get hired on the spot. Meet the managers, indulge in delicious food, and snag some awesome giveaways. Don't miss out on this electrifying chance to power up your career. Miller Electric, May 29th, 4 to 7 p.m., 6805 South Point Parkway.
Tired of a plain and boring backyard? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop choice to beautify your home. With pavers, stonework, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces, pergolas, and driveways. Visit stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Jason, I don't see how a new air conditioner is going to work out for me.
Well, you like air conditioning, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. But a new air conditioner could be expensive.
Well, not if you...
I mean, to save up the money, I probably have to give up my extra hot skim latte every morning. Now I fall asleep during a staff meeting, get volunteered for the summer picnic committee, and end up sitting in the dunk tank all afternoon getting water up my nose.
Okay, look at it this way. Put on these sunglasses. Whoa. Bueller Air and Plumbing puts in a new AC. We hook you up with affordable financing, and you stay cool and comfortable for just $149 a month. Cool?
Cool. I see it now.
Life can be hard on your budget. If you suffer through the heat because of a broken AC you could totally afford to replace, you could visit.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
A chipped windshield can turn into a big problem fast. Lauren Brooks here. Trust Novus Glass of Jacksonville for expert repair and replacement. Call 904-289-2905 for Novus Glass in Orange Park. 904-289-2905.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line. Hello. Your floor's missing piece.
Great guest and a regular. They both can be true. Our buddy Matt Hayes will be back in the building tomorrow, but over in Destin right now with everything that's going on with the SEC. Matty, how are you, bud?
Great. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. And the chatter is never ending, man. There are trial balloons everywhere about this college football playoff. And salvos being fired from every direction from commissioners. I didn't realize commissioners were so tough, beginning with Greg Sankey. So give us an idea of what's going on, what the chatter is.
I think Greg Sankey's a little annoyed at the fact that he's being painted as a heavy now for basically the last, year and a half. And I think he's kind of fed up with it. He kind of explained that in one way or another about a day and a half ago. And, look, at the end of the day, he's the guy, and he made this very clear. He said, look, you guys say that I'm not, the ACC, let's put it this way, the ACC and the Big 12 kind of put out these coordinated statements to CBS Sports about a week ago. And they both talked about how everything they've done for the college football playoff has been in the best interest of the game. And that was clearly a shot at Sankey. And Sankey's response this week was the best interest of the game. I'm the guy that held this thing together. Like the SEC presidents would have been very happy to just have an SEC playoff and keep the money to themselves. And I think he's kind of now letting everyone know, look, I'm not the guy you think I am. I'm the guy who's held this thing together. And that's kind of where it is moving forward.
Wow. I mean,
so commendable.
You gotta love it.
You gotta love it. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, honestly, guys, that's where it is, because when they were in that situation back there in 2021, just coming off the COVID season, there was a lot of drama, and the Big Ten had really, I mean, they not only had screwed the SEC, but they clearly screwed the ACC and the Pac-12 with that quote-unquote alliance. But by doing that alliance, they slowed the initial playoff, which Sankey worked a year and a half on to come up with that 12-team format. So that was another shot at him. So he's thinking, look, these guys are continually going at me, and I'm the guy that's trying to fix this thing. And he now still is the guy trying to fix this thing. And again, I don't think he's trying to say, look at me, because he's avoided all this garbage until finally now when they release those statements. And again, this has to be said over and over, is the SEC presidents really weren't interested in going to 12 teams. They really weren't interested in the playoff in the first place. They could have had their own playoff, but they didn't. He convinced them to go down the road that is best for college football, and that's where they are right now.
Well, I mean, it's got to be a little posturing a little bit, Matt, because I mean, he's flexing a little bit. He's got to do what's in the best interest of the SEC, and we all know that the eyes go to the SEC. We still know that they're a big guy on the block. So I mean, he may be looked at. He may be trying to fix everything, but the interpretation of the SEC is that they're playing bully ball.
Yeah, and I think that's his biggest problem, Leon. Is that there's this idea, this narrative out there that's one way, that it's really not the way, and we can all complain that we want everyone on the same level, be it the ACC, the Big 12, the SEC, and the Big 10. But there are two tiers right now. There just are. Because that's football. Because the people that televise football want to watch the SEC and the Big 10, and a few teams in the ACC, and a few teams in the Big 12. So that's where we are. And there's no getting around that. There's no avoiding that. And we can all say that we want this Pollyanna situation where everybody's happy and everybody's getting paid and everybody's getting paid the same. That's just not reality.
No, it definitely isn't. And I do know there's now, you can call it a Power Four, which suggests everyone is on the same level. We all know that's not true.
No, not close.
Yeah, and so, and look, if I am Greg Sankey, I am patting myself on the back and I am finger pointing at the same time, saying, hey, you want to come our way and put a better product on the field, spend more money? By all means, do it. And we are finding now, Matt, I believe, a little more cash in the coffers for other schools or other conferences and other schools that might catch up. But for the here and now, the strength still lies in numbers in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, Joe, there are schools in the ACC that spend money. Miami clearly is one. Clemson is one. Florida State is one. There are schools in the Big 12 that spend money, but it's not to the depth of what these guys at the SEC and Big 10 spend, and it's also reliant on individual donors. Like with the SEC and the Big 10, they have the TV deal that's significantly better than the ACC and the Big 12, and that's never going to end, and there's no getting around that. And I think that's kind of where the strife is. But there's really, what are you arguing against? You're arguing against what TV wants to pay for. You're arguing against the free market. The market bears what someone will pay for you. If somebody doesn't want to pay for your games, that means they don't think they're attractive games.
So give us the temperature in the room at the convention with all this going on.
So here's the temperature in the room right now, Leon. So the coaches just finished their 2 days of going through this circus here, and we're finally talking about football now. Brian Kelly walked out and said, "We as coaches, we're all in the room in agreement," which is rare, by the way. All of us in the room are in agreement. We want to play the Big Ten once every year in a non-conference game. And I wrote this back in October of last year that they were working. If you guys remember, I wrote that they were working on a scheduling agreement with the two leagues, but they haven't really said anything solidified yet. Now the SEC coaches are coming out saying we want to do it. We want to play some of them say they want to play 9 games, SEC games, and a Big Ten game. Some say they want to play 8 SEC games and a Big Ten game. But the point is, they want to play a Big Ten game every single year. Now, I don't know if that's possible from the Big Ten side of it, at least yet. Like when I spoke to Big Ten people in December during the sports forum there out in Vegas, they were still hesitant. They were thinking maybe it was not going to happen until later in the decade, 2029, maybe 2030. But if, as we've seen over and over with everything in college sports, what is said one week might be completely different the next week.
Yeah, there's a lot of FOS talk going on out there. But the other part of it is if they say, the SEC says they want to play a Big Ten opponent every year, does that kill the idea of 9 league games inside the SEC, or does it still leave it open? Because to me, it's very difficult to do both.
It's not difficult to do both. You can do both. It just minimizes what you can do non-conference.
Right, because you want to keep a rival
so
if you can.
Here's Here's the absurdity of it. Like Shane Beamer, who we all love Shane Beamer.
Mm-hmm.
Shane Beamer said playing 9 conference games and playing another game against the Big Ten would be like adding the Kansas or the Green Bay Packers to your schedule in December, which is ridiculous. But his point is he would have then 9 SEC games, a game against the Big Ten, and a game against Clemson.
Yeah.
So then you're looking at 11 of their 12 games would be against Power 5.
That's meaty.
No longer even Power 5. Would be against power schools, which is a heavy lift. Same with Florida. That would be the same way with Florida. It'd be the same way with Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be the same way with Georgia. So, yeah, absolutely. It'd be the same way with a few other schools in the league too, Kentucky and Louisville, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think you've got to start looking at this as they've got to figure out how to get the selection committee right. Like if the selection committee starts to not focus so much on the right column being the losses,
mm-hmm.
and instead focusing on good wins and good losses instead of schools like in Indiana who doesn't play anyone, has one game against a team with a winning record,
yeah,
but only has that one loss on the right column. If you can get the committee to get away from that, if they can somehow do that, SMU again. SMU has no business being in the playoff. They lose their conference championship game. They've got 2 losses.
Yeah.
They got in.
Yeah.
So I think their point is, look, the right side of the column now is an issue. It's the losses. Like the committee sees the losses, and oh my gosh, that's the end of the day.
All right, so
then don't lose.
Yeah. Well, but
I agree with you, Leon. I'm not disagreeing at all. But their point is, and I think they have a legit point, man. If they're playing 9 games in the best conference in the country, and they're playing another game against the Big Ten and another game against Florida State or Clemson or Georgia Tech, and they have 3 losses, and someone in the Big 12 has 1 loss, or someone in the ACC has 1 loss against a much easier schedule, and they get in the playoff over them, yeah, then that's a problem.
Right. The other one's beating their chest, saying, "Look at us! Look at us! Look what we didn't do." And the other team with 3 losses knows they're better. But Leon comes from a world where there was undefeated. All right. So before we've got to say goodbye to you, a quick if you don't mind.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We don't know how much it happened, but Billy did speak. Matt and Billy Napier said that DJ Lagway is throwing multiple times during the week. And here we are creeping closer and closer to finding out if this guy's 100% healthy.
He did. Yeah,
he looks healthy.
Billy's very confident. There's no doubt about it, man. He's confident in the team. He's clearly confident in DJ Lagway being healthy. They've set them up. They've set themselves up for a nice. What's the best way to say this, Joe? A nice little, double dip ice cream cone of expectations for this team.
I thought you were going to say letdown.
He's pushing. He is
start with the
pushing
ice cream
expectations, man.
Yeah.
I will say this too: is And I thought about this as Billy walked through the media crowd and no one stopped him. Earlier today, I was thinking, when was the last time a Florida coach walked through the middle of a media group and no one stopped him?
That's classic.
Just been a while.
Yeah.
Been a while. Yeah. But again, that's also about winning, man. That's also about being among the best in the league. If you're among the best in the league,
he's probably not just a great conversationalist.
Yeah, he's not. He's not.
I mean, JJ, he's clearly not the most engaging guy, but believe it or not, if you can get him alone, he's not bad. Okay. He's actually really good. He's just, I mean, on the radio it doesn't come off because he's got that slow Southern drawl. Well, but he's got very good ideas. And he has very good responses when you can get him alone and kind of break down things.
All right, so we'll use that as just like a precursor to tomorrow when you're back, because you talk about the fact that no one stopped him, and where does he rank among the SEC coaches right now? And there's varied opinions on this.
As far as levels of importance.
Well, just where he ranks.
He's way down.
Yeah,
he's way down.
Yeah, where he ranks, period, as a coach, sideline, whatever qualifications you want to put up there. It's crazy to think about it. But anyway, we'll do that tomorrow. All right, have a safe trip, and we will talk to you then, bro.
All right, boys. See you tomorrow.
All right, so he is out, but that's going to be a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And either ice cream to start, big letdown later, not quite sure. But they got a massive, massive schedule that they got to deal with. So we'll see. Who do we have coming up?
With my Art Keogh.
Yeah.
5-time national champion as a player and the coach, University of Miami. Raised me from a puppy to a pit. Yeah,
he did. So we'll say hello to him, hopefully coming up. Yep. It is a Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday. Don't forget, call 287-PLAY. 9-hole game, food afterwards, prizes, skins game. It's all waiting for you. Just call the Golf Club of Southampton.
This cannot be a team of common men, because common men go nowhere. You have to be uncommon.
1010XL.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
The Summer Starts Here sales event is back at Arlington Toyota. Why does Northeast Florida buy from Arlington Toyota? Because Arlington is the place to go for big selection. I'm talking over 800 vehicles, one location, and 60-day exchange. Plus, during Summer Starts Here, get financing as low as 0% on select new Toyota models. Or how about no payments until January 2026? Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter-mile east of 295, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too. From Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 28, 2006, Barry Bonds hit his 715th career home run, surpassing Babe Ruth and moving into the second place on the all-time MLB home run list.
Hey, Hicken here. So much of what makes us a family takes place in our homes. That's where Zero Res comes in. I love Zero Res, and this month get Zero Resified from Jacksonville's #1 carpet and air duct cleaner with May Mayhem. A 3-room special starting at $149 plus the 4th room is free. You owe it to yourself and your family to breathe healthy, happy, and clean. Call Zero Res 28757 or go online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and say you want the Hicken special. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Hacker here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. You know, being in the maintenance program now with Awaken 180 Weight Loss has been great. After losing well over 100 pounds, I still meet with my coach now once a month, get the guidance that I need so the weight doesn't come back on. Losing the weight was fantastic, but honestly, keeping the weight off has been as rewarding. It is phenomenal. Awaken 180 has absolutely changed my life. In fact, I'm going on a cruise next week. I'm even going to do formal night to take some of those photos. I would have never done that 100 pounds ago. With Awaken 180 Weight Loss, now I'm not afraid of the camera anymore. Again, absolutely life-changing. If it's time for you to make that change like it was for me, go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. If I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Learn the secrets to bring your A game on the Edwin Watts Golf Hour.
Yeah, well, you really crushed that ball off the tee, I'll tell you what.
Learn the latest on new equipment from all the major manufacturers on the Edwin Watts Golf Hour. Saturday morning at 10 on 1010XL. 1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Who lit it up last night? Brought to you by American-Electrical.com.
It was deflected and stolen. And it's a 2-on-1 with the trailer in Siakam. That's been the story of the game so far. Shot clock at 3. Halliburton for 3.
He went nuts.
He did.
He had as clean a game with the ball in his hand as you could possibly have. It's one thing to have a clean game and not do a whole hell of a lot, but he was assertive. He drove, penetrated, finished, hit shots from the outside, mid-range jumpers, you name it. And honestly, you have to give Halliburton and the old man up in the stands behaving himself. You have to give both generations a lot of credit.
That's the most important thing right there.
Because
that Pops was cool.
Yeah, Pops was sitting up there.
They lived back in the building, huh?
Yeah. He had the Indy garb on, and he just kept looking left and right of him with whoever was with him. He's like, I told you.
Pops looked like he had a few too now.
He may have. But you're looking at, honestly, I don't know if I want to say transformation, but just they're emerging as a team that is tough as nails and tough to knock out. Now, the Knicks kind of maybe fit that description a little bit against Boston to begin with this playoff run. But now, Indiana, you got to recognize them. OKC, after getting thumped the worst way imaginable, I think it was their largest playoff loss in franchise history, they bounced back. So not to say that one team can't bounce back, but it's just one of those deals where you're like, we have to recognize them. Everyone says the ratings are going to suck. Well, I kind of like what we're watching, don't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I wasn't really surprised by the thumping. I was surprised. The Timberwolves at home after going down 0-2, you kind of thought game 3 they were going to play with some energy. But what I like is that OKC, they took that thumping in the third game, but in the fourth game they kind of righted the ship and said, okay, listen, y'all had y'all little fun now. Let's put you back in your corner.
Right.
Let's get back to the business of who's the best team, in the NBA, and they kind of showcase. I mean, when your MVP goes for 40, that's what's supposed to happen. That's kind of what's supposed to happen.
And so, yeah, you have to give either SGA credit, a lot of credit for what he was able to do with OKC to take care of business, and honestly, what the Pacers have done. And it's not just Halliburton, but primarily it's him with the night that he had last night. All right, there you go. Lit it up. Who lit it up? Well, they did it last night, but American Electrical can light up your world, commercial, residential, whatever it might be. They are in the electrical business. If you want to begin a career, you definitely check them out as well. American-electrical.com. All right, so let's get back to at least a little bit of this SEC chatter, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up with your coach, Art Kehoe, coming up in just a bit. But, playing off, and we will make this a bit of a good talking point tomorrow, where Billy Napier ranks as far as the SEC head coaches. And we do this every year, and we do it with all the coaches, not just Billy, but Kirby right now is at the pinnacle. Nick was, now Kirby is, and then where does it fall from there? And so it's worth getting into, but I think most Gator fans would probably start to go down a list, and they may argue that Billy should be a little higher than he is, but there's not a lot to point to that says he should be in a 16-team league in the top half. I don't think there's a lot to point to.
You don't have him in the top 8?
Not right now.
I mean, not with the expectations of Florida this year.
Well,
because a lot of people have got y'all, if not winning it, somewhere in the mix.
Well, there are some that are projecting a college football playoff spot, but that schedule, like we said, it is towards the end of the year. They took care of business and surprised some people, but this is another major challenge, especially with where the games fall, schedule-wise, on the road, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, we'll find out if he can navigate that schedule and get north of 8 wins, which is what you would expect would get you to a college football playoff invite. North of that, if not north of 9.
9-3.
Yeah, it might get you there.
9-3
based on who you pick off and who you lose to. But it's just like right now, is Shane Beamer a better coach than Billy Napier? I didn't think I'd be debating that. Yet here I am.
He's done a good amount with not a lot.
Yeah,
at
not
South
as much.
Carolina.
Yeah, and so it's just crazy to think about it, but it will be an ongoing discussion. There's no doubt about it.
But you have him over Hugh Freeze.
Right now,
Sam Pittman.
Yeah, that's a good little tug of war between.
You have to put him over Sam.
Yeah.
What about Mike Elko?
Elko, believe it or not, is ranked ahead of him. Now,
he had a great run. Where was it, Duke before that?
Well, he had a very good couple of years at Duke. He was hired back to come back to College Station because that's where he was defensive coordinator under Jimbo. And they went off, after losing to Notre Dame at the beginning of the year, they rattled off a ton of wins. I think they might have gone on a little 7-game win streak, but anyway, kind of flamed out towards the end.
The A&M way.
Yeah.
I think they were still like 8-4, 8-5 or something like that.
And I think so. That would mean that both.
But those are the guys we're talking about, is my point.
They're all in one big pile.
It's like, maybe I'll put Billy above one of these or two of these guys, but not all of them. But yeah, like Drinkowitz, like.
They're all in one big pile.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Eli 2 years ago did something that maybe people didn't expect. He was able to climb the ladder, made some changes when it came to his coordinators, and obviously they had a pretty dang good season. What was it, a 10-win season? And then this last year, you're expecting more of the same, and it didn't. Luther Burden didn't flash the way he was hoping. His quarterback got hurt and kind of had an uneven year. And so it comes and goes fast because Billy was going to get bounced in September and then basically used November to
ripped off a bunch of wins.
Yeah, to save his job. And Lane Kiffin, they were bound for the college football playoff until they lost in Gainesville.
Now, would you rather have Kalen DeBoer, like, we make fun of him because they lost to Vandy and they just didn't have an Alabama year, but the guy went to the Natty with Washington.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
I would have to put that above Billy, whatever he's done.
Yeah, he's at the very least.
Is he a better coach? I don't know.
But his resume is accomplished. If you make it to the national championship,
Mark Stoops. I mean, I'd put him above Billy
him right now. Yeah, like I fight the idea of putting Shane Beamer above Billy Napier, but Cocky would have an argument on their side, and the Gator Nation would have an argument on their side, because you can't be one of those coaches that wins one, lose one, and you're batting 500 basically, and expect to be recognized among the best in the SEC. I just don't see how you can. And he wasn't winning games until he picked off a couple of teams late this past year. Wasn't winning games that most people didn't expect him to win. He wasn't an underdog.
They wrote him off, and
he beat Lane.
I mean, he beat the man that was supposed to take his job. Basically.
That was huge.
That was a big
man.
one.
It was a huge one.
Yeah, and everyone said, "Hey, Lane can't win those types of games, and in particular on the road." After that game, they weren't wrong.
Yeah,
and so I still am a hotty-toddy fan, but they were not wrong. He had an unbelievable opportunity to put his name in there as one of the hottest coaches in America with that roster that they had, and go into the college football playoff with about as much ammo as anybody. Look at what they had on both sides of the ball. Walter Nolan leading one side, obviously Jackson Dart leading the other side. Good run game.
Yeah,
all
look
that
how many
stuff.
got drafted.
Yeah. Yes. And I think they had the third most.
Probably.
I think it was third most draft picks in the SEC.
And man, he was crying on Twitter for months about not getting in. It's like, well, you lost to Kentucky at home.
Yeah, you blew it, bro. You had your
even well before that Florida game.
Yeah, those
you guys
were the
had
two.
a terrible loss.
Yeah, those were the two damning ones. That's for sure. All right, so the other part of it that I at least want to get into a little bit is that I like the idea of these meteor schedules. And even though you said, Leon, you got to run the table, and I get it, because that's how your football, that's how you were raised. That's how your football brain is conditioned. You lose one, you're out. But now, if you do have more of these games or more of these schedules that have these bigger games, then you drop one or two, you still can get in the tournament.
Yeah. Listen, the last thing I'm going to do is support a coach who's making tens of millions of dollars, all right? And now he's running from competition. That's the last thing I want to see as a player.
I'm with you.
I mean, that's just my player mentality. I mean, last thing I wanted to see a coach put up on the screen and say, hey, listen, we can't play these guys because we play these guys. But I couldn't function in that meeting room if my coach is telling the team that we're running for competition. We don't want to.
It's not healthy.
It's not healthy. So, I mean, whatever's put before you, you got to win the ball games. You just got to do it.
But I do believe that you understand, with a NFL career as good as it was, you never played for a loser. And you played, and that winner, as long as you won enough, you were playing for something. And so you could not afford, but you could absorb loss here or there as long as you kept winning a majority of your games.
Oh, you're talking about in the NFL?
Yeah, I'm just saying your NFL brain.
Well, NFL brain, yeah.
Yeah, should tell you.
But I never went to a game thinking that we were going to lose.
I know that. Yeah,
okay,
that
but if I didn't take losing well.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't take losing well, but what I'm saying is my college mentality is that I don't care who you put in front of me.
Yeah.
I don't care what the team is. I mean, I used to look at the schedule. Now, I used to look at the schedule and say, okay, all right. Only game I would circle is at Florida State. But while everybody else was, I mean, they had ass kicking coming. That's just the way I call that. No, I'm just saying that the last thing you want as a player, to hear as a player is your coach saying how tough the schedule is. And I understand now in this world of the playoffs and everything like that, you can't afford to lose too many games because the ultimate prize is to get in the tournament and see what happens. But you take care of the game. You take care of the games you're supposed to take care of. I mean, the tournament ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, that part I like. That part, and you should never, ever change your mindset when it comes to that. That's for sure. All right, let's head into the 3 o'clock hour. It is XL Primetime. Joe C., along with Big Sirs. We'll have Maddie back tomorrow. JJ, making sure we're on time as we head into the 3 o'clock hour. A Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday. Call 287-PLAY. Get on the tee sheet. Come on out tonight. We're talking about a beautiful night under the sun. Before the stars come out, we get 9 in. You got a skins game along with your regular 9-hole game, some food and prizes, all part of the proceedings tonight at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Hello, you're on the air.
There's more to 1010XL than radio.
1010XL is multimedia. All communication lines are clear.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Find 1010XL on your social channels.
Hayes Carline here. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise Free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter. And you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor climate-controlled showrooms. It's cool, comfortable, hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at AtlanticInfinity.com.
Plumbing problems, AC not blowing, septic tank doing whatever septic tanks do? Don't call 3 different companies and play contractor roulette. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. We handle plumbing, septic, and air conditioning all under one roof. That's one call, one company, and one bill that won't give you a heart attack. For fast, reliable, and slightly ducky service, call 904-862-6769 or waddle over to duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom. And that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low 5s, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Prosser here. Spring has sprung, and it's a great time to sell your house, but only if you have the very best on your side, and those very best are Chad and Sandy Newman. Spring selling season's here. Rates are down. Activity's up. It's the best time in years to sell your home, in fact, but there are homes sitting on the market. They don't have the right representation. That's where Chad and Sandy step in. Maybe you're worried your home needs repairs or updating and it won't sell for a good price. Maybe your family's growing and you need more space. Whatever the reason that you need to sell your home, Chad and Sandy deliver this promise to you. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Sounds pretty hassle-free to me. Take it from Mike and Rosemary in St. Augustine. We were determined to buy an affordable home in a specific school zone, but we didn't qualify for the loan needed to get one. Chad and Sandy's team worked with the lender, negotiated a higher qualification price, lower interest. It was huge, $200 less per month. Do it today. Call 414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com.
It's the blog players put their pads on for.
So we won it, we got to bring my thoughts and observations on our home team. That's what I share with you every week on my blog.
Roland Reach Plumbing brings you Hayes Blog on 1010XL.com. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
North Florida is growing with lots of new families joining our community. If you're one of them making the move here, your next move should be a call to American Electrical to create the best home automation system, enhancing your living experience. There are many ways your life can be made easier through smart home technology, voice-activated systems, automated lighting, total house temperature control. With American Electrical, they've got everything you need to automate your home and make it your true oasis. Check out American-Electrical.com, powered by professionalism and raising the excellence bar.
When you're experiencing sudden, unexpected dental pain, the last thing you want to hear is that your dentist can't see you until next week. That's why I'm so glad I found Harbor Dental Care. Whenever I call, they always find a way to see me within 24 hours, and they can usually fix whatever's wrong the same day. Plus, they have locations throughout Jacksonville, so no matter what side of town I'm on, I can always count on the same great care. If you want to find a dentist who believes in treating people right, learn more at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Denny Thompson here. If you haven't heard, Tyson Sound and Security has a house built right inside their showroom, showcasing complete home automation and security systems. You have to see it to believe it. This setup can recognize intruders who approach your door and alerts them to leave if there's a break-in. Keep your family safe with the most state-of-the-art technology. Tyson Sound and Security, your security, home theater, and home automation experts. New showroom at 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming Island.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. Over at the Miller Electric Center for OTAs, 1010XL's Hayes Carline got the chance to talk to new Jaguars wide receiver Diami Brown. Brown's in a new role with the Jaguars as he was opposed to last year with the Commanders, as he's the veteran in the room over young studs Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter. Brown's cherishing the learning process of what it takes to be a leader, but also taking in information himself.
Man, actually everything's new. You know, I came from a place, you know, I wasn't the oldest and, you know, I was still learning to be a vet at the same time. So, man, just coming over here and having that role and be able to guide, you know, the guys that's up under me and, you know, and learn from them as well, because you can always learn, you know. They say the older teach, but you can learn at the same time. So it's pretty cool.
It's 91 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
We are having a good time. You got to stay inside the AC as often as you can when this heat starts to creep towards 90 degrees. I think we have a high of 88 today, Big Sur. And I know that this is when the towel comes out for you at the OTAs, correct?
No, not usually, yeah, but I'm down some LBs now, bro. I don't sweat as much.
Physician's guided. You're not. So you're saying you're not leaking as much.
Not leaking as much oil. Yeah,
That's good.
I'm still leaking, but not as much.
I still think once we get to training camp, that Cersei towel is going to come back out.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. But OTAs, once a week, you get to get out there. We'll see them again next week. And the discussion came out of yesterday's practice that Travis Hunter's not practicing on both sides of the ball every day, which I get. It's May. It's early. They're not going to jam everything in. I want to see as much of him on both sides of the ball as possible. And his defensive coordinator was talking about that at the podium yesterday. And so I get it. And when you get to a point where you get to see what he looks like on both sides, it's going to fire everybody up, and they're going to see more and more and more of it. I was looking at this thing on social. Most exciting players in the National Football League, in the history of the National Football League. Who jumps to mind for you?
Exciting players?
Most exciting players that you saw.
Well, listen, Barry Sanders is the only player. Barry Sanders is the only guy that maybe get off the bench and watch him play.
Okay, I think that's a great one to jump off with. And they even had Barry Sanders kind of low, which just made you like,
what?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are you guys even talking about? If you're going to put a top 10 list together and you don't start with Barry Sanders at or near the top, it's crazy to think of that. But anyway, I'll have to pull it up and see if we can get into it just a little bit because
Barry Sanders, Devin Hester.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. Well, he really wasn't my era, but he's pretty electric.
Would you put LT up there?
Only reason why I wouldn't put LT up there is because I would be on the field with LT.
Okay, I got that. That I totally get. But I'm thinking to myself,
LT for sure. LT, as far as pass rushing skill, LT was a menace.
Okay, so here it is, and you could shoot holes in it if you want, but this is just the 10 most electric players.
Electric.
What about Randy Moss? Randy Moss got to be on there.
Tyreek.
All right, so let's just see. All right, I do see Tyreek.
Adrian Peterson.
I do not see Randy Moss. Which is kind of interesting.
That's insane.
That's insane.
Okay, I'm just going to roll through it. Okay?
You got it.
Because you can, like I said, there's so many different ways to look at it. This is NFL history. This is one ex-post opinion. Deion Sanders, 10th. Deshaun Jackson, 9th. Barry, 8th, which is way too damn low.
Yeah.
Devin Hester, 7th. CJ 2K, we kind of forget about him a little bit.
God.
I know. Like, where did this come from? He doesn't belong on this
Johnson.
list. Chris Johnson. He doesn't belong on this list.
He was very quick.
Yeah. He was year. He had an unbelievable year.
But he's not.
And got a nickname out of it.
Box office.
Yeah, that's just, no. Tyreek Hill? Yeah. He's 5th. Bo Jackson, 4th.
Okay.
They put Ed Reed 3rd.
Electric?
Yeah. Electric guy?
Because he was a sudden change guy, I think would be their logic. Is that he just
made electric plays, I guess.
Yeah. So that's just kind of like, as soon as he forced something to happen and forced a turnover, you could see it going the other way all the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I just think about speed.
Hey, listen,
guys.
I mean, I know he's my king compadre, but Troy Polamalu was pretty electric.
Yeah, okay. He would fall in the same category as Ed Reed.
And he played a lot closer to the line of scrimmage than Reed.
Exactly.
So
That's
he
what I'm
was
saying.
like,
He was
got a lot more sacks than Ed Reed had.
And remember, he'd jump over the line.
Oh, yeah.
He was really, really a fun player to watch. So Ed Reed was 3. So the top 2 guys are Lamar and Michael Vick.
Okay,
Hard to argue with
you.
you.
About Lamar. I forgot about Vic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because Vic was.
Yeah, but you're putting Vic over all those guys?
Well, again.
We have like this.
Everyone's got this.
They've rewritten history on what Michael Vick was to this league, man.
He, I don't know, bro. He was.
What, he win 2 playoff games in his life?
Yeah, but you have to, just have to look and watch at what he was able to do coming through Virginia Tech, not as a one-man band, but in a lot of ways, he single-handedly led that team to an undefeated year and into a national championship game before he got clobbered, got the hell beat out of him by the FSU defense. But then when he got into the league, same thing. They were trying to kill him. Every single time they were trying to kill him.
Yeah, he had exciting runs, exciting games, but
that's it.
We make him out like this new generation. I don't even know who it is. Twitter makes it seem like Michael Vick was one of the greatest NFL quarterbacks at the time.
Yeah,
and it wasn't even close to that.
No, he probably was he was box office.
Of course.
He was probably top 5.
Was he?
Maybe a little bit lower than that. But anyway, around there probably. But the same thing with Lamar. Lamar only has.
Oh, Lamar's had a way better career than Michael Vick.
Yeah. But you just mentioned playoff wins a minute ago. So I'm just saying Lamar only has playoff seasons. He has yet to have a back-to-back playoff.
He also has like 3 MVPs, though, or 2, I guess.
Got 2.
And could have won this year.
Yeah, he's been incredible. But he still needs to win back-to-back playoff games.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so
for his legacy.
I thought he had it this past go-around against Buffalo and Josh Allen, and it did not happen. But anyway, it's fun when you look at it. Of course, it's there to shoot holes. LaDainian Tomlinson was unbelible. Walter Payton was unbelievable.
I was just thinking Sweetness. Sweetness is now on the list. This is crazy.
I'll kick Chris Johnson right off of this list and put Walter Payton. My gosh, man. And then Jim Brown, he might have been a different type, but he was one exciting cat.
He was.
Like, I was looking at NFL films, and you could see that.
Yeah.
Who else? Because
I'm thinking old school guys. I mean, Earl Campbell doesn't get enough.
What about Adrian Peterson in my era?
Yeah. AP.
So much better than Chris Johnson.
He came out of the box.
So much more electric than
Yeah. There were certain guys that Adrian Peterson announced himself and then never left. He did not. There was no fade in him, even when he came back from the ACL. And so, and unfortunately for Bo Jackson, it just didn't last forever.
No, it didn't.
And AP may have never been as electric at one time as Bo Jackson, but my gosh, Adrian Peterson had himself a career.
Texter said Mike Alston on 4th and 1.
All right, you texters can let us know.
Yeah, someone's saying I'm missing the word electrifying. I get it, but like, I'm not saying Michael Vick doesn't belong on the list, but to be number 1,
I just think
it's like, well, what he's become in Twitter world is completely different from what he was in the time.
The only thing I'm saying is
you
that
guys, you young guys, it's
it,
crazy for a 35-year-old to say that, but like, it wasn't what you guys thought it was, man. He wasn't just rolling through the league wrecking like everybody.
If it wasn't for Mike Vick, we wouldn't see Lamar.
Maybe
that's why I always feel like they got to get their respect, their due,
right?
Because they like Tiger has made other great golfers, and they may never, ever get close to him. But Michael Vick made players that were, the way the game has changed, they can go past him.
He made them acceptable for the league to bring.
Yes.
Like college football always had athletic quarterbacks, but it'd be like Antoine Randall. Awesome at Indiana, but when he came into the league, they just made him into a wide receiver.
So that's why Mike
that
Vick
changed everything.
Yeah, that's why he was special in his own right. But it's fun to look at it just to see. All right, on that note, since we talk about these great ones, and I'm sure, I don't know, one or two of them were picked very, very high. Where was Deion drafted? He was top five, wasn't he?
Yeah, Deion was in the draft with Troy Aikman, Derek Thomas, and someone else. I mean,
1989, fifth overall.
Okay, fifth overall. Okay.
So the first, it was Troy Aikman, number one, Tony Mandarich.
Oh, my God.
That didn't work out.
Wow. First of all, the top 5 picks of this draft, holy crap.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
So Tony Mandarich was the outlier.
Yeah.
Then 3 was Barry Sanders. 4 was Derek Thomas. And 5 was Deion.
4
so
out of
4 out of the 5. Exactly. Hall of Famers.
And the first one was Hall of Fame combine player. That's what he was. He was the first guy that basically
Tony Mandarich, you're saying.
Shot needles in his rear end and went to the combine.
I was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
It was something like the future of offensive lineman or something like that. 6'6", 305, ran a full 6'5".
Yeah, incredible. I got to read this story to you a little bit about offensive linemen coming up because it's become a topic. But right now, since we're talking about these guys and how high they were drafted, the ukulele, please, JJ, if you don't mind.
Perfecto!
Oh, just listen to it. Beautiful. Puts you in a good mood.
We haven't had one in a while.
I know. This may send you to the cold, cooler section of your local grocer to pick up some Pacifico. Found in Baja, imported by surfers for those who live life, anchors up a delicious Mexican lager, a Pacifico. So we go from the Atlantic to the Pacifico. All right, here it is. Travis Hunter, drafted by your Jacksonville Jaguars. This franchise moving up into the top 2 to get Travis Hunter. That is the first time that a team has traded into the top 2 to draft a non-quarterback since when? First time a team traded into the top 2 in the draft to take a non-quarterback.
Who was the first to do it?
Yeah. Well, Jacksonville was the first since when?
Since when?
Wow.
And we're going back. We ain't going way back, but we are going back. Jacksonville, the first team to trade into the top 2 to draft a non-quarterback since who? All right, now
I want to say the Giants and Saquon Barkley.
Nope, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm trying to think of where he was. He was maybe top.
He was top
4.
He was number 2.
He was number 2.
I think he was number 2.
Okay.
Saquon Barkley was the second overall pick in 2018.
Yeah. Okay, but they didn't trade in. But that's a good one. That's a good pull. All right, so that's a good guess. Now let's narrow it. Okay, it's a man that plays along the same line that you've played. In other words, the same, not exact same position, but played offensive line.
Well, it's got to be a tackle, right? Like, why would they trade up in the top 2 and not take a tackle? That would be insane.
Yeah.
Why is Orlando Pace?
There it is.
Oh, there it is.
Yep. There it is. 1997. Rams traded up to get Orlando Pace. And it was worth it, you'd have to say.
Absolutely good.
And because it wasn't long after that Kurt Warner and company became what they were, the greatest show on turf. But 1997, a non-quarterback, and the Rams move up to get him. And we'll see if Jacksonville can get the same out of theirs. I don't know.
Okay, all right. I got a good segue after that. But hey, JJ, can I get a that?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I was on my phone, and I pulled this up, and they just came across, and all I got to say is it's about damn time. The NFL has come out with an award for offensive lineman called the Protector of the Year.
The Protector of the Year.
About damn time.
Yeah.
What took them so long?
A little recognition.
Yes.
What is it?
Could work on the name, but
it sounded
Hey,
like,
listen, it's offensive line. We'll just take it. We'll take
What's wrong with like O-lineman of the year?
No,
like
it's called the
offensive lineman
Protector of the Year award. Yes.
Let's rename it the Big Sexy of the Year.
I like
love
that.
that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because that makes a hell of a lot more sense than
I don't
the
know how
Protector.
long this is, but I just was scrolling and it popped up. I said, "Oh, snap! Got to do it."
So now, do you think people will they'll just give it to a left tackle every year?
Well, you hope you don't. You hope they don't.
I agree.
Because
but they probably,
because of some great centers and guards and right tackles that play now.
Yeah, I would like to just see the angry looking mauler get recognized, not just necessarily the left tackle, but. Did the same people who came up with the commander's name come up with the Protector
Maybe.
award?
Or the yesers.
Exactly. Protector of the... Listen, as offensive lineman, we'll take it.
Yeah, anything you can get for some recognition, that's for sure. It is XL Primetime, Golf Club of Southampton, Wednesday.
Ride home with a Frangie Show.
I'm a driver, and I'm a flyer. I waited a long time for a shot like this.
Put some wings on your wheels. Afternoons on 1010XL. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL. Brought to you by San Jose Collision.
The Gators have qualified for the 2025 NCAA baseball tournament, where they've been selected as the number 2 seed at the Conway Regional hosted by Coastal Carolina. The Gators will take the field against the 3 seed East Carolina Pirates this Friday, May 30th. First pitch scheduled for noon. Florida's back in the NCAA tournament for the 17th time under head coach Kevin O'Sullivan, the second longest streak in the country, tailing Vanderbilt.
Frank Frangie here. May is Military Appreciation Month, and Nimnik Chevrolet proudly salutes the brave men and women who serve and have served our country. As a thank you, Nimnik is offering an additional $750 off select new Chevrolets, and every vehicle purchased at Nimnik supports K9s for Warriors. Nimnik Chevrolet thanks you for your service and your sacrifice. Shop online at nimnikchevy.com or visit the dealership at the corner of Park Street and Cassett Avenue. Who's got more new Chevrolets at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnik. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
If someone you love needs a pick-me-up, then it's time to get serious about it and send them a Kuhn Floral Arrangements. Dylan Denmark here with 1010XL. You'll be assured of a quality delivery, that's for sure. Log on and order online at kuhnflowers.com.
Rebound Rehabilitation. 11 great locations across the First Coast, and they're just a click away when it comes to feeling strong and healthy again. If you need the best path to recovery, look no further than Rebound Rehab. Log on and check out one of their great 11 locations.
If you need a game plan for the weekend, I'll tell you my takes for some of the weekend's best options. 1010XL's Dan Hicken here. Watch for Musings with the Media Mogul on YouTube and Facebook. Turned on by Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach.
It's the NBA playoffs, and Hurricane Grill & Wings has slam dunk specials like $3.75 Miller Lite drafts with 30 bold wing flavors, ice cold drinks, handcrafted cocktails, and big screens everywhere. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
Joe C for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite roofing contractor lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjax.com.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Jason, I don't see how a new air conditioner is going to work out for me.
Well, you like air conditioning, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. But a new air conditioner could be expensive.
Well, not if you...
I mean, to save up the money, I probably have to give up my extra hot skim latte every morning. Now I fall asleep during a staff meeting, get volunteered for the summer picnic committee, and end up sitting in the dunk tank all afternoon getting water up my nose.
Okay, look at it this way. Put on these sunglasses. Whoa. Bueller Air and Plumbing puts in a new AC. We hook you up with affordable financing, and you stay cool and comfortable for just $149 a month. Cool?
Cool. I see it now.
Life can be hard on your budget. If you suffer through the heat because of a broken AC you could totally afford to replace, you could visit.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Pacifico, discovered by accident.
Yeah, the story goes, a group of friends went down to Mexico looking for some legendary wings. They never found them. But what they did find was something even better. An unforgettable Mexican lager.
Where'd you hear that?
Tell your next great story with a friend and a delicious Pacifico Mexican lager.
Pacifico, find your own way.
The 2025 season schedule has dropped, and single-game tickets are on sale now. Be at the bank to watch Travis Hunter, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jaguars take on the biggest names in the NFL. Don't miss your favorite matchup and secure your tickets now by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. See you this fall, Jags fans.
Yes, sir. That's the best decision.
I love it. New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Frank Frangie here for Bono's Pit Barbecue. Bono's has been serving Jacksonville's best barbecue since 1949. Now, to thank all their loyal customers, Bono's is bringing back their Club 49 card. You can get a $500 gift card for only $350. That's a savings of $150. You can purchase your Club 49 card at any of the Bono's locations around town. And you'll want to get to Bono's soon to get the spring wing deal. You get 6 wings and a side for just $11.99. Head to Bono's, and remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Our next guest is not affiliated with the NFL or Jacksonville Jaguars.
Discussion of injuries is solely based on opinion.
Now, the Bari Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Injury Breakdown.
I'm coming in.
Gio dialing us by phone. Emergency surgery. He's still in his scrubs, gloves on. Is that correct?
No, I mean, you can't take the gloves off to answer the phone.
Okay. All right, gloves are off. That makes sense. That does make sense. You got to get cleaned up. And this is like, do you ever drop gloves like a hockey player? Like when you're done?
Yeah, but we can't pick them back up. You got to be sterile. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, so Dr. George Bari, he normally joins us inside the palatial studios here at 1010XL, but working as he often does to try and make people feel a little bit better. He is fellowship trained under the renowned Dr. James Andrews and part of Bari Orthopedics right here locally. So if you guys got a sports injury question, you can hit the text line 641-1010, shoot them to us, and we'll see if we can sneak them in while Gio is on the line. I got a couple left over, I believe, but I wanted to ask you this one thing. I was going to show you this one, Gio. Bryce Harper took a nasty inside pitch to the elbow, and they ended up taking, I guess, the initial X-ray. And maybe you can take us maybe from a situation where they do a quick X-ray at the stadium, and then he has to have maybe an MRI the next day. Anyway, they said X-rays were negative, and it was just a bone contusion to the elbow. That's still painful as all get out, is it not?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's still painful. Bone contusions can be very painful, and we've seen this before in the NFL players where, you know, X-rays are negative, but they have bone contusion and they're out for a couple of weeks. But we always say bone contusions can hurt for about 6 months, and a ball coming at you 80, 90 miles an hour is going to cause a big bone bruise, right? Just imagine when you were a kid and someone punched you in the shoulder, and for like a day or two, sometimes, you know, your arm is sore. Mm-hmm. Now imagine, you know, a ball coming at you 80, 90 miles an hour. It's definitely going to cause some pain. But the good thing is, at this point, it's just pain tolerance, and just everyone's a little different, and the injury's a little different for everybody on how and when he can come back. So we just got to wait and see. But yeah, bone bruises can be bad. I mean, I've seen people 2, 3, 4 months out still having a lot of trouble with bone contusion.
Yeah, it's a dumb question, but rehab for something like that, it doesn't exist, or does it?
Well, number one, rehab, you want to keep the motion of the joint. So they're going to keep moving that elbow, because when you have pain in that area, you don't want to move it, right? And if you have a bone contusion, I'm sure the soft tissue around it is also contused. Mm-hmm. And so they're going to want to keep that motion. They don't want the elbow to stiffen. And then there's some things you can do to try to help the pain in the bone, like some ultrasound and some things that may mitigate some of the pain. But there is some therapy stuff you can do to indirectly help that joint.
All right, so this was last night, and this is completely unrehearsed and off the cuff, but I'm just doing it, okay? Because Derek DiStefano, normally we see him out at the Golf Club of Southampton, owner-proprietor, all the vowels except you. And so he's normally ready to go, okay? Well, last night, he's doing a little BP with one of his softball daughters, and he takes one. He described it as point-blank range. From like JJ to Gio, if you're in the studio with us, you can picture point-blank range. Yeah. Anyway, he said the softball comes rifling back at him through the net. So there must have been just a little frayed part of the net, and it nailed him in the forearm.
Ooh.
And he said he thought it was broken, fell to the ground, didn't move. Which I could totally imagine.
Right.
Leon's laughing right now. I could just totally imagine. I would hit the ground too. But he said he thought it was broken. And then you're talking right on the forearm. So describe just like what can you do and how painful is that bad boy?
Well, I mean, it sounds like it wasn't broken, but it can definitely be be very painful. The same thing, bone contusion. This is exactly what we just talked about. And luckily for him, he didn't have a fracture, because both bone forearm fractures, when you break both bones, and then or a radial shaft fracture, those are all surgical. Mm-hmm. Ulnar shaft fracture is not surgical, as long as the alignment is good. But back in the day, they called these types. There was something called a Montagia fracture or a nightstick fracture. It's just, you can think about nightstick fracture. You put your arm up to protect yourself from a baton, and it gets you get hit and you break your ulna. So yeah, I mean a direct impact to the forearm can definitely cause a fracture in the shaft of the ulna or the radius, and lucky for him, it wasn't like that. But it can definitely take some time to recover from it.
All right, so here's one off the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. I had ACL meniscus reconstruction a year ago. Soleus is still sore. What do you recommend?
Well, there's some therapy, which I'm sure he's done for that. And I would recommend stretching out, do some therapy. And then, I know we've talked about this before, but shockwave therapy can help something that is chronic in that sense, just kind of help regenerate that tissue. Mm-hmm. But those are kind of the mainstays of what to do for it. I mean, you can always get an MRI to make sure that there's nothing else going on, but it's kind of tough to deal with.
All right, so here's another one that it's funny that the WNBA is panicking just a little bit because Caitlin Clark is hurt. I don't know if you know this, but they're talking about ticket prices going way down, stuff like that, and it's legit because she's quasi carrying the league. Anyway, the texter says Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark suffered a left quadricep strain. Will be out a minimum of 2 weeks. And we go right back to the therapy, right? There's really not a whole lot you can do.
Not a whole lot you can do. Just stretch it. Make sure it doesn't get quads love to get tight, and then you lose some of your stretching ability for it. So just kind of stretch it. Make sure it doesn't get too tight, doesn't scar in, and then just rehab it. Just like the hamstring. People are out a couple of weeks and even more sometimes. The quad usually is not as long as the hamstring, but it does take some time.
All right, so I got to throw this one at you. It's PGA Tour golfer Will Zalatoris, and he has already gone through some pretty significant procedures. So anyway, he had another surgery to correct 2 herniated discs in his back, Gio, and he had that going back to, I think 2 playoff seasons ago, and then turned right around and had to have it done again, okay? He said he had discomfort and instability in his back that progressively got worse this past spring. An MRI after the PGA Championship, which just a couple of weeks ago, revealed the injuries. And so he says, I'm happy to say I woke up feeling good and excited about my long-term back health. Bottom line is, that's pretty dang serious to have that many concerns with your back as a golfer.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that the fact that he said he had instability is actually more worrisome. I don't know if they mentioned what type of surgery he had, but anytime you hear the word instability in the spine, usually people are getting fusions to prevent that instability from progressing. Because you can have disc issues in a quote-unquote disc surgery that doesn't include a fusion, right? You have a discectomy and some other procedures to help alleviate that pain, but not necessarily fuse it. But when you start saying instability, then you got to put screws in there to kind of hold that in place.
All right, I wanted to grab one more for you here real quick before you go. This has to do with your shockwave. Is shockwave, and you need to explain shockwave therapy, but the texter, is shockwave good for arthritis in the knee?
Yeah, so there are some studies on shockwave. It does help with the arthritis in the knee. It can help with the pain. It's not going to reverse arthritis. It can just help with the pain and mitigate. That's what we try to do with cortisone, with PRP, right? We're not reversing the arthritis. We're just doing what we can to try to mitigate the pain and make you more comfortable. So, yes, there is some good evidence that it is helpful. Is it a permanent solution? No, it's not. Just like PRP and cortisone, it's not a permanent solution. Is it going to help everybody? No. But if you have some mild arthritis or you have moderate to severe and you're not ready for surgery, it's definitely an option of something you can do to try to see how much longer you can prolong the inevitable.
All right, one more before you go, because what are we doing this afternoon? We got a bunch of surgeries?
No, we have more work.
Okay, all right, just making sure.
But not surgeries.
All right, so and JJ needed to give me the timeline because I'm trying to remember this. Anyway, Ronald Acuna had the ACL tear, and the question is it common for players who had ACL tears like Acuna to return as fast as he did? JJ, can you remember? Is it?
He was 10 months.
It's about a year.
Yeah,
he was 10 months.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. Right?
Yeah, he was over 9 months, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, we say
He's
minimum 9 months.
phenomenal since he's been back, by the way, from the plate.
Yeah. People like him make people think, because I get patients that come in and say, well, I heard if I tear it and I get a new ACL, I'm stronger than I was before, which is a false statement.
Right.
But they see people like him, and it kind of pushes that false narrative for some people. But, his was, I think, a normal timeline, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But, listen, he's back. He's doing great. I know his first at-bat was a home run. When
First pitch?
Coming back. Yeah. And
I'm still worried about him running the bases. He hasn't really tried to go for any steals yet.
Yeah, that's going to be and that's going to be a mental block that he's going to have to get past. Yeah. Everybody always talks about the mental block of after having an ACL going full speed on a couple things.
Big Sirs, you had the mental blocks, remember? When you wanted to test your triceps or whatever.
I had to.
Yeah.
Because that was the biggest challenge, is to know that your injury is repaired.
Yeah, and that you can do what you did before.
Exactly.
All right, where are we at with the Sharks, Gio?
So there's a game tomorrow. We're doing well so far. I mean, injuries galore, I'll tell you that much. But we're doing well. We have a game tomorrow, and then the next game, not this coming Saturday, but Saturday after that, is home.
All right, so the Sharks, he is the official team doctor of the Jacksonville Sharks. Gio, thank you as always, my brother. We will talk to you soon. All right. BariOrthopedics.com. Make sure you log on and check out everything that they got going because they can help you with all the joint pain that we've been talking about right here. You got another question? We'll try and make sure we get it in next week when Gio drops back in the building.
Play-by-play sports just sounds better on radio. For high school, college, and pro sports play-by-play, turn on 1010XL.
Just when you thought we couldn't bring you more, Keon Atlantic is here with a brand new store. We have the same great team to treat you well, with new savings during our grand opening sale. Keon Atlantic is here with the new store. Shop our best offers and largest selection yet. Save big during our grand opening sale. Is there something for everyone on our lot? You bet. If you're ready to experience something new, the all-new Keon Atlantic is ready for you. Your perfect ride is a visit away. Online at KeonAtlantic.com. Keon Atlantic, your coastal Kia connection.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Frank Frangie here for Bono's Pit Barbecue. Bono's has been serving Jacksonville's best barbecue since 1949. Now, to thank all their loyal customers, Bono's is bringing back their Club 49 card. You can get a $500 gift card for only $350. That's a savings of $150. You can purchase your Club 49 card at any of the Bono's locations around town. And you'll want to get to Bono's soon to get the spring wing deal. You get 6 wings and a side for just $11.99. Head to Bono's, and remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 28, 2006, Barry Bonds hit his 715th career home run, surpassing Babe Ruth and moving into the second place on the all-time MLB home run list.
Listen all day as 1010XL gives you news, notes, and analysis of organized team activities as they get ready for the upcoming season. Our coverage of OTAs is hoisted by Heroes Lawn Care and Hurricane Grill and Wings.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my success with back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
It's the perfect day. You're just driving along, listening to your favorite music, the windows down. There's a cool breeze. Life is good. But wait, hold on a second. You're not wearing a seatbelt? You'd better put that on before that... Uh-oh, too late. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement, so you'd better buckle up or you will get caught. Sorry to ruin your day. Click it or ticket.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Prosser here. It's a great time to sell your home, and I got just the people to sell it for you. Spring selling season is here. Rates are down, activity's up. Now's the best time in years to sell your home. Some homes are sitting on the market, though. Hiring an expert who can maximize your equity and minimize your hassle, that's the key. And I've been telling you who those experts are. Are you listening? I recommend Chad and Sandy Newman. Go to chadandsandy.com, the local real estate experts you can trust with the sale of your home. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. So whatever problems you think you have, I've got you this promise. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. There you go. Simple as that. Christopher on Anastasia Island. My home was too big for my needs. I wanted someplace smaller and easier to manage. I got multiple offers and sold in 3 days with Chad and Sandy. You can too at chadandsandy.com or 904-414-6200.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, my takeaway is the last thing I want to hear is a college football coach is making tens of millions of dollars is whining and crying about a schedule. not fair. We got to go here. And listen, if I was a player, I would feel some kind of way. Come on now, coach, man up. We haven't even got to the season. You're already worried about it. And I know it's people out there say, well, Leon, you're in the ACC. Well, I wasn't in the ACC. I was an independent. So, I mean, we took on all takers. And by the way, I was 17-3 against ranked teams and 5-0 against number 1 teams. So we didn't care about no damn schedule. Whoever you putting our way, they taking this foot, and you know what?
You're talking dirty to me, and I kind of like it.
That's honestly,
the mindset you got to have.
That's impressive too.
I just seen the kids seeing a coach when they're crying about the schedule. You like, and you on that team? Yeah. And you supposed to lead us to victory? Come on now, stop it.
I love it because you did play on a team in an era where it was take on all takers, and you did it. And 5-0 against number 1.
5-0. 17-3 against ranked.
Can you remember who the 5 that you beat?
We beat number 1 Oklahoma.
Okay.
We beat number 1 Oklahoma. We beat who was number 1 at 88?
You had to have Florida State.
Yeah, we beat Florida State. That was number 1 at 88.
Yeah.
We beat number 1
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Uh-huh. And then was it Nebraska or was it?
I'm missing one. Hold on. We beat Florida State twice at number 1.
Okay.
88 and 91.
So Oklahoma twice, FSU
twice, and Notre Dame once.
Yeah, that's honestly, that is some kind of impressive. And I'll just, I know what you're saying, but if I just take the next step in the coaches' conversation as far as the takeaway goes, that they're all fighting for survival, okay? And you're like a player that says, I only have so many games. I'm going to play my ass off. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to win. Whereas these guys are saying, I need to have some built-in wins. I need to make sure that I have as many that I can count on as opposed to go in without knowing for sure we're going to be able to compete and win this football game. You know how it goes.
Well, here's the thing about Jimmy when I was at Miami. He never had to get us up for Florida State, Notre Dame, Penn State, Oklahoma, Nebraska. He never had to get us up for that. And if he had to get us up for those games, then he got the wrong players. Mm-hmm. When he coached us the hardest is when we were going to play against teams that we knew we were more talented in.
Right. Keep your mind and body
keep the mind
focused.
sharp. Yeah.
And look, I get it, but all these coaches are protecting against whatever from the outside is going to come at them when they drop a game. I'll give you an example because we were talking about it earlier, and we'll do this tomorrow when it comes to where are you putting, the SEC coaches. We'll probably do it a little bit with the ACC and the rest of them as well. But some of our listeners were coming in on our prime-timers on the text line, Design My Lifetime Enclosures, about where Billy Napier ranks, where Eli Drinkwitz ranks, where Mark Stoops ranks, because Stoops has been up and down, has accomplished a hell of a lot more than probably anybody ever has consistently at Kentucky, but still did not have a very good finish to the last couple of seasons that he's had to deal with. Eli definitely has taken a step up with his coaching and coordinator hires. He's done very, very well. And so it's all those guys are trying to figure out the best way to make sure they don't get canned. And that way they need 2 or 3 layups. And the ones that Jimmy was always trying to get you to focus on because he knew that you guys weren't.
We knew he was more talented than the teams. Yeah. The teams that were unranked, he knew that. So he wanted us focused in because he said he didn't want us to play down to their level.
Yeah.
It was a certain standard that had to be met at Miami, and that no matter who we're playing Tulsa or we're playing Florida State, we're going to play the same way.
Yeah. And Nick Saban, I honestly believe, was about as good as anybody since maybe Jimmy. I'm sure there are others, but as far as keeping his team hungry, and every single year after they accomplished something, he didn't dress them down, but he basically made them think they hadn't accomplished anything. Now go do it again type of feeling and speech. And he would always work against that fear that those players were not going to come in and put in the work. Whoever that next opponent was that they thought, I beat the behemoth. Now I don't have to worry about this one.
Yeah, that's why I love Nick Saban, because he reminds me so much of Jimmy. Jimmy always made you feel like there was another tier. Yeah. There was something else out there to go grasp, and not to be complacent with where you are right now. Yeah. That's what I love about Nick Saban.
Yeah, and so we think about those types of special coaches, and just to tie it back here locally, and what Trayvon Walker said, he didn't bag on Doug Peterson last year, but he basically complimented Liam Cohen for the energy that he's bringing. And that's what this football team needs. That's what they crave. I believe they need some accountability that the coach is going to put on them, and they need some enthusiasm, some fire, and get them going. And I hope that's exactly the direction that they're heading in. All right, we brought this up a little bit earlier. I at least wanted to get back to some of the suggestions. Most electric players in the National Football League. And these were a couple that were thrown out there, including my buddy Stapes, who put Ricky Williams up there. Ricky Williams, man. You think about it, he was the closest.
He had his moments.
Yeah. He was the closest thing that I think a football fan that watched Earl Campbell had when reincarnated.
Oh, wait, well, listen, we're talking electric, and no one's brought up Freddie T.
Yeah, that's an excellent point.
Freddie T. Listen, Freddie T. would. I mean, you give him daylight, and it's a cloud of dust.
Yeah. Yeah, he was electrifying for sure.
Absolutely.
Julio Jones from Atlanta. Yeah, a good one. I don't know if he'd be anywhere near a top 10, but he was definitely a great one. O.J. Simpson has been brought up, and when he was the electric company, okay? And so whenever they got it going back then, he was some kind of good. Gale Sayers, yeah, no question. 4th and 1, I'll take Zonka all day long over All-Star.
Yeah, we had an All-Star.
I love that.
I just realized when you said Ricky Williams, I was searching long and hard. I don't have any weed-related sound bites to play.
Wow. I thought you
That's
had
a shame. I used to have like a bong.
Yes. What happened to your
I
water
don't know.
bong?
I'll find it.
Sad. Or you can get Badger from Breaking Bad. You got to get something. We have to have that. You got to be able to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Marino, not in the top 10. Dude was video game by himself. Marino was one of the funnest players from the pocket throwing the football to watch. He was great. He was great. And there was
Marcus Allen.
Yeah. There's so many of those old ones. Terry Metcalf was brought up. So there were a few back then, that's for sure. And Randy Moss, he may have only done one thing, but he did it about as good as anybody.
Okay.
He was going to take you deep, and you weren't going to stop him. Real quick, off of the text line as well, you mentioned the new lineman award in the National Football League that'll be given out this year. What is it called?
I believe it's called the Protector of the Year.
The Protector Award. One of our texters said, well, the Jags damn sure don't have anyone up for that lineman award. There's no way they get anyone on the list. That's the main problem with the team, in my opinion. And I don't think too many of us would disagree with that.
No, not at all.
If the line is fixed, let's make this the 10-10 take, because it is pretty simple.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since 68.
So they've got their recipes perfected. Since 1968, they've been doing it right. Enjoy some delicious barbecue at any one of your area Sonny's. But I firmly believe if you fix one problem, you fixed multiple problems. And it's very simple. The offensive line, how far that unit can take you will determine your entire team's success, because your offensive line is going to help your quarterback, help your run game, help control the clock, help move the chains, all that stuff. And if they do that, they're going to get in the end zone. And if they do that, they're going to control the scoreboard. And if they do that, they're going to help their defense. And honestly, it begins and ends with that offensive line.
Yes, it has a ripple effect, like you just mentioned. All those key points.
Yeah.
Especially defensively. You don't know how many times I've played in games and we on 14, 15 play drives and the defense be like, man, good job, bro. Yeah, for real.
Yes.
Yes. The team, the defense gets inspired because they get that added rest.
Yeah.
But if you go in there and you go 3 and out, then the defense like, come on, bro, you're killing me, bro.
Exactly.
I'm getting exhausted out here.
Because they got to get back out there, hold the line.
Absolutely.
And then the other part of it is playing with the lead. How much better can the defense be?
Defense plays inspired football when you got the lead. When you've got a 10 to 14 point lead, they play inspired football. Guys are running around. Most of the times, the guys, they get more sacks. I mean, it's good things happen when you take the lead. Especially good things happen when you play good at home, too.
Oh, my gosh, yes, because the crowd is into it. They're helping you. And if you get to play with the lead, then the Walkers and the Hines Allens of the world get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot more opportunity to rush the quarterback, which usually translates to success. So let's just hope. Now, it's my understanding that there is a foot race over on the campus of UNF.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJax.com.
The coolest cats in town.
The Frangie Show is on the road. The Embedded and Shredded and Hacker Nation. As I understand it, is there a 100-meter race between Hayes Carline and the lighter Hacker?
Well, fortunately for me, there is not, because my Achilles tendon would probably, both of them would probably not last until I got to the fourth step. But yes, we are out here at the NCAA Outdoor Track and Field East Region first round.
Nice.
Seeing the men's javelin right now, very impressive. How far these guys can wing this thing. So it's a 4-day event. It's going to be great. It's going on through Saturday here at UNF, and we'll certainly be celebrating our time here with the Ospreys as they host. We're going to have Erwin Lewis, the Deputy Athletic Director, is going to join us to talk about bringing this event here, and we're also going to have Jeff Pigg, the head coach of the track team at UNF, is going to join us and talk about 4 athletes from UNF that are competing in this meet over these next few days. So should be a lot of fun. We'll also do sports and courts with Brett Hastings, and Hacker did a great interview with Devin Lloyd that we will replay for the show as well. So a lot of fun coming up on the Frangie Show. Frank's on vacation this week, but as you mentioned, it'll be me and Hacker and Max Fink. Hopefully bringing you a great show today from UNF on a hot but gorgeous day here. And boy, I mean, that might be the one right there, Hack. Some great javelin being thrown out here right now. We may get down there and do that. I might be able to do something with the javelin.
I say
we'll
you do that.
Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, I say you do that and then get someone to shot put Hacker. I just would love that, okay? Get some video, get Max with the video working there. All right, listen, the great Lee Moon brought that meet to UNF campus, and I know Nick and company have kept it going there. So have fun out there, bro.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
All right, man. And honestly, this is the beginning of the East whenever they do the NCAA Track and Field Championships, and there's a lot of good talent that comes into Duval with that meet. That's for sure. The golf championships going on right now, track and field. You got the regionals going on with softball and baseball. All the spring sports are red hot for sure. All right, Big Sirs, we're done.
Yep.
We'll have Big Matt back tomorrow with us. We say thanks to all of y'all. The Golf Club of Southampton. Don't forget the 9 after 5 call 287-PLAY. Still got time to get on the tee sheet. 9-hole game, skins game as well. You can throw a little extra into the pile and see if you can get a little slice of that pie and then enjoy some food afterwards. Make sure you come on out to the Golf Club of Southampton. We are done. The Frangie Show with Hayes and Hack coming up.
At 1010X.